Hi YouTube! So today I'm going to film my trying to conceive journey and how I found out I was pregnant. If you don't already know me, my name is Rebecca and I have tried to film this video now for the third time. So I'm hoping today is the one. So I'll start with obviously how I conceived. About a year ago, so in January 2021, I had a chat with my partner, who is now my fiance, and we discussed obviously when we wanted to have children. We already knew we wanted to have children, and I said to him I'd like to try fairly soon. We decided that I would come off my pill, but I still had about 6 months left on my pill anyway. So I decided I'd take the rest of my tablets, and when I'd finished, which was July 2021, then we'd try. I came off my pill about the end of July. I started straight away using the OPK tests. I had some cheap strips that I bought from Amazon. You got a massive pack for like £10. I think different ones are different, so but yeah, I'm sure they weren't expensive for like a massive pack anyway. So I started using them straight away. I think the day after I finished my breakthrough bleed in July, after I came off my pill, and I uploaded them to these apps. I got a couple of apps. I think one was Glow, one was Premium, and one was Feminator or something like that. I was tracking my cycle and I was using these cheap OPK tests from Amazon. So I was getting positive tests with the OPKs, so I assumed I was ovulating, or at least my body was trying to ovulate, but I didn't know at this point that the OPK test don't tell you that you're actually definitely ovulating. They only tell you that your body's about to ovulate. So my body could have been trying to ovulate and I didn't know, and I wasn't ovulating. So I used these cheap test strips in the first month, so it would have been August, and I used them in the second month as well in September. But because I had spoke to so many people, and so many people had said to me, oh well, I got pregnant straight away, I got pregnant the first month after coming off contraception, I got pregnant while still on contraception, and I was like, there wasn't many people that I spoke to that said it took them a while. Like, so I was like, well, why am I not getting pregnant? Like, it's been 2 months and I haven't. And I know 2 months is not a long time. I know that it does take quite a long time for other people, but I was just getting really paranoid. I was thinking something's wrong. Is something wrong? Is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with my partner? I was getting quite anxious and paranoid. Amazon, I got these OPK tests. They come in this massive bag, like these 2 packs. So as you can see, there's loads in there, and for these cheap ones, and they're probably like a tenner for like maybe 50, I don't know. So yeah, these are the ones that I used. The 1-step OPK tests. I used them for about 2 months, and after I'd done some more research, thinking maybe I'll try something else. So I was doing that for the first 2 months. I was uploading them to my app and tracking my cycle. In the 3rd month, I think I did some research about basal body temperature tracking, BBT tracking, and I thought, I'll start doing that maybe. I'd read that BBT tracking actually tells you you've definitely ovulated. So I started doing that in the October. So I was doing them as well as the BBT tracking. So I did my research and whatnot, and originally I did think you can use just a basic thermometer, because I thought, well, I'll just use my normal thermometer that I've already got. But no, you have to get a proper BBT tracking thermometer, because it's 2 decimal places, and the rise that you get after you ovulate is so small that it's probably only like ½ a degree, so a normal thermometer wouldn't necessarily pick that up. So yeah, I just bought a cheap BBT thermometer off of Amazon, and I'm sure that was like a tenner. I'm sure it was like $9.99 or something, and it has got 2 decimal places. So with that, you, as soon as you wake up, so I would set my alarm for 6 o'clock because I do shifts, I work in care, so I would set my alarm for 6 o'clock every single morning, and I would wake up, literally reach over, turn my alarm off, grab my thermometer, which would be on my bedside table, pop it in my mouth, and read the temperature, and then I would upload it to my app straight away so I didn't forget, and then I'd go back to sleep after that if I went at work or whatever. You need to do it at the same time every single morning. You need to like not move, you can't sit up, you can't roll over, no nothing, because that tiny little movement might raise your temperature a little bit. And the app that I used was Fertility Friend. That was my favourite app in the end, I think. The only thing with that app is you couldn't upload your OPK test to it. There was the other ones that I said anyway, you could upload your OPK test to that, and that would tell you if it was positive or not. Sometimes the apps were wrong, but at least you got a good idea uploading it like that. So with Fertility Friend, so by this point, October, I was using multiple apps to upload my OPK tests, and I was using Fertility Friend to track my temperature. And I'm sure you could use other apps to track your temperature. That was just my favourite one. I liked how you could read the chart. I found it quite easy to read, and I thought other things in the bottom, like say if you got a positive test, a positive ovulation test, you could put that in. You could track your cervical mucus, you could track all sorts of things. It's just in the bottom below the chart, and I liked that about it. October, using Fertility Friend and BBT tracking, that confirmed for me that I was definitely ovulating. So that was a good point. I was happy with that. I think in the month that I did actually get pregnant, which was November, I started using these different ovulation tests, as well as the cheap strip ones as well, but I started using these ones. These were clear blue ones. I think they might have been 10 or 15 pounds for 10. So obviously you can't use them every single day. But with these are a lot easier to read than obviously the cheap ones, because the cheap ones you have to sort of figure out if the test line is darker than the control line, because that's the only way that it's positive. But with these actually tell you if it's positive, because if it's positive you will get a nice smiley face, and if it's negative you will get a blank screen. So what I was by this month, and this is the month that I got pregnant, I would do the cheap strip tests every day. Sometimes I do them 2 times, sometimes I've even doing 3 or 4 times a day, just depending on how close I thought I was to actually getting that positive test, because it does change so fast. Like your hormones must be up and down constantly throughout the day. So if I got what I thought was close or a positive test on the OPK test, I would do one of these, confirm it for me. It was the 8th, was it the 8th? Yeah, it was the 8th of November, and I got one of them tests, such a bold line on that test, so that was positive. And then I also got a positive big smiley face on one of these. I used one of these already, but it was obviously negative. I think I'd used one of these like a day before or 2 days before maybe. So obviously that day I did the deed. I also did it the next day just to make sure. And also I think in October, so in the 3rd month and in the 4th month of trying, I think I started, I did start after the deed. I'd put my legs up on the wall. I know it's an old wives' tale, and I know some people say that doesn't work, it's an old wives' tale. I was watching YouTube videos as well about all this information. I was seeing what other people were doing, and I don't really see the harm in doing that. If you think that it might work, it makes sense to me, so I did it. So yeah, I was putting my legs up on the wall. I think in October, in that month, I did it for about 15 minutes, and then in November I did it for about half an hour after. What I think worked for me, moving on to how I actually found out. So according to my app, I was 10 days past ovulation when I actually did the test, according to Fertility Friend. But I was a little bit confused actually when I did ovulate, because for one, the day that I got the positive OPK test was the 8th of November. I was also tracking my cervical mucus. Sorry if this is TMI, but you will get this with pregnancy related videos. So that day on the 8th, it was watery, it's fertile, but it's not the most fertile that you can get. And my temperature did spike on the 8th, but then also on the 9th, my temperature dropped a little bit. And then on the 10th, it spiked back up even more. And on the 10th, I got egg white cervical mucus. But I was getting negative OPK tests. So on the 9th and the 10th, I got negative OPK tests. Still to this day, I don't know what day I ovulated. I obviously did, because I wouldn't be pregnant otherwise. I don't actually know when for sure I ovulated. I think I could have possibly ovulated on the 10th. I could have still possibly ovulated on the 8th or even the 9th. I have no idea. But I must have ovulated either the 8th, the 9th or the 10th. So to me, I thought the day that I ovulated on the 8th, I thought I'm going to wait 10 days till I do a pregnancy test. So 10 days from the 8th was the 18th. So I would have been 10 days past ovulation. The cycles before, I was doing like pregnancy tests on like 7 days past ovulation, which is a bit daft. I mean, it's a very small chance that you'll get a positive on that day, a very small chance. I know some people have, but all I was doing was stressing myself out, and I knew I was stressing myself out on the day 7, day 8, and when it was negative, I was just getting anxious and upset, and I just thought, this month I'm not stressing myself out. I'm going to do one test before my period is due, which was 10 days past ovulation. So and then that's it. If it's negative, I'm not doing no more until obviously my period's missed. If my period's missed, I'll do more. On the day of the 18th, I woke up. I was going to York Christmas Market with my best friend this day. I woke up, I'd got my alarm on anyway. I think I put my alarm on for like 9. And I remember thinking that morning, I might not actually do a pregnancy test today, because I'm convinced that I wasn't pregnant. I didn't feel no different. I wasn't even sure on when I ovulated, so I didn't know if I'd done the deed at the right time. Just like, it's definitely not happened this month, no chance. So I was like, I might not even do one. But I got up and did one anyway. I did one of the cheap test strip ones that I'd got in my cup. Went to the toilet, dipped my urine, and I remember even thinking while I was dipping it, there's no point in even doing this. I'm just going to upset myself. It's not even going to be positive. So I put it on the sink, came back into the bedroom, gave my dog a cuddle, had a bit of a drink out of my juice, went back into the bathroom, looked at the strip, and yeah, there was a faint line on it. But it was such a faint line that I didn't know if I was seeing things. I didn't know if I were imagining it. It was so faint. So what did I do? I sent a picture to my mum. I sent a picture to my mum, and I rang her up and I said, Mum, you've got to look at this test. I've sent you a picture. I think it's positive. Will you look and see what you think? So she had a look while she was on the phone to me, and she said, yeah, I think it's positive. And she said, if I were you, I'd go and get some more tests. Me being me, and then for my boyfriend, I started getting ready for York Christmas Market because I didn't want to be rushing around and everything. So I started putting my makeup on and everything. I phoned my boyfriend in process, and I said to him, Adam, I've done a pregnancy test this morning and I think it's positive. And he was like, oh my God, are you joking? What? Oh my God, are you joking? He just, yeah, bless him. He was at work and he was driving, and I phoned him to tell him that. I sent him a picture as well, and he said, yeah, I can see a line, but it's so faint. So I said, well, I'm going to B&M in a second, and I'm going to go and get some more tests, and I'm going to try and get a digital if I can. So I went to B&M. They didn't have no digital, but I did get some more, just pink dye, blue dye, I think I went to the chemist to get a digital, and I got a digital from the chemist. Came back, did the tests. I did the pink dye and the blue dye first, I think. And again, there was such a faint line on these tests, but it was so, again, they were so faint, it was just like, is it even there? So again, I took pictures, I sent them to my mum. She said there's a line on all of them tests, but they're just faint. Sent pictures to my boyfriend. He said, yeah, I can see the lines again, but they're still so faint. So then I did digital, a clear blue digital, and that said not pregnant. So obviously I was a bit confused, but I did my research and I found out that the digital needs more hormone than just the pink dye and the blue dye tests. So at this point I was pretty convinced I was pregnant. To the train station, met my best friend there, and obviously told her as well, because I couldn't keep it in from her. I just found out, and my head were just a shed. I were all over the place. I didn't know what to think. I were excited and I were anxious and I were everything, all sorts of emotions going through my head. So I said to her, guess what, I think I'm pregnant. I've got a few tests that I've done this morning and they are positive. I showed her pictures. She was like, oh my god. And she said, you need to do another test when we get to York, because I want to see. So me and her went to Boots. I got another blue dye, clear blue test from Boots. So we went in this portable. Hi YouTube. So for some reason my camera cut off my video right in the middle of where I was talking about how I found out I was pregnant. So I obviously look a little bit different because I've got no makeup on today. I am in my pyjamas. Just came to edit this video and realised that half of it was cut off for some reason. The background's probably different. I will finish off the rest of this video. So got a clear blue dye test. Did it in these tiny little portable cubicle toilets. So there was me and her in this tiny little cubicle portable toilet. Obviously I had nothing to wee in, so I couldn't wee in something and then dip the test. I had to just try and wee on the test. So I weed on the test, and again there was a very faint line on the test. It was faint, but it was quite clearly there. I went to Boots and I got a clear blue digital. I think I got two. I was gonna use that the next morning. So I went home, couldn't sleep all night, was so excited to do these two tests the next morning. If you know me, you know that is not me. That's not like me. I can sleep through anything, anytime, anywhere. If I'm tired, I'll sleep. So I woke up at 6 o'clock the next morning, did these two digital tests. Did the first one, came up pregnant. Did the second one, it came up pregnant 1 to 2 weeks. Run downstairs with these two digital tests, like to my partner, oh look, showed him obviously, and then I just didn't sleep the rest of the day really. I think I had a nap later on, but that was it. So yeah, that was just a tiny little bit of this video that got cut. Yeah, that's how I conceived and that's how I found out I was pregnant. It was quite a big shock actually, even though I was trying. Just weren't expecting it all that month. Anyway, I will finish that video here and I will speak to you again soon, probably with my first trimester symptoms maybe, or I might do my gender reveal first. I'm guessing the gender, I might do that. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Bye.